Good evening and welcome to Stories Unveiled. This is the story of the German cheetah, known as the Gepard. When war is waged, when war is at your doorstep, you have no choice but to fight. Its creation was fueled by this unquenchable thirst for power, an undeniable force that grips the hearts of leaders. When a battle ends, another begins. Icarus knew they couldn't stay neutral for long. Icarus knew, sooner or later, the fires will eventually spread. Even though they are known for their technological prowess in the fields of artificial intelligence and mechanical robotics, they were not the first to create a war robot, but they knew if they engineered something, it was going to be at the top of the food chain. On the day of the exodus to Mars, Icarus Technologies managed to absorb a robotics company composed of mostly German engineers. Unlike the two other corporations at the time, Icarus did not struggle to build robots nor wanted to possess points of interest, since they did not want to stand out by controlling territories that would normally attract attention. In fact, they managed to build a mechanized army in secret. They did not have a specific vision of a design or any expectations, so they just went along, approving every additions and propositions, every upgrades and improvements. With smart engineers working with Icarus's advanced robotics technology, the blueprints came to life. The first prototype was its most effective version, something that the greatest minds of other corporations could only dream of. It seemingly had everything. It was good at everything. It was fast, faster than any walker ever created. It was covered with layers of incredibly thick armor, and it boasted more firepower than anything in the battlefield. With 3 guns, could lay down a very intense line of fire. There was no record of a first deployment, but it was said that a squad of destroyers came across a Gepard on a test mission. While there was no exchange of fire, it was clear that a new threat, a new competitor was looming just around the corner. Upon further improvements, its engineers knew they created a vicious hunter. Its name is based on a cheetah, referring to its incredible speed and agility. Combined with its firepower, it could win against anything it could face. Its weaknesses didn't seem to exist. Its weak points were located on the legs, as the Gepard was very heavy due to layers and layers of armor surrounding the hull. As a result, it could easily topple. This weakness was covered by adding heavy armor plates on the legs, which made it even more heavy. There was a flaw in the design of the turret ring that made the turret rotation very slow, a flaw that would be exploited by very skilled pilots. Ultimately, it is said that it is unknown on how good it can be. Given the time and technology, its engineers claim that it was the perfect platform. They claim they engineered the perfect mix of potency and versatility. Reports from witnesses of battles involving a Gepard claims that when one is spotted fast approaching, opposing pilots were so terrified that they didn't even dare to shoot at it. There was a rumor that the Gepard has never lost a duel, solidifying its threatening presence, something that could stop the fiery grasps of war. For pilots, it was like a force of nature, something unstoppable, devoted to finish battles that it didn't start. In the early days of the game, the Gepard was thought of to be the first pay-to-win robot, as it costed a lot of gold, which was very hard to come by, and because it was stronger than anything it could face on the battlefield. Some of the early players of war robots may remember this exploit. There was a tactic that a lot of high-level players used. This was called gold farming. They would use a low-level Gepard and equip it with 3 magnums. What this would do is to trick the matchmaking and pit these overpowered Gepard setups against lower level destroyers and Cossacks, highlighted by newer players. This would result in them being able to deal the most damage and also get the most kills, which means they would be the first in the team and get the maximum amount of rewards, which was 10 gold back then. I remember some players running 5 of these Gepard setups all with magnums. This was arguably the first pay to win experience. From battlefield to battlefield, a single Gepard could dominate the area and no one would dare to contest for it. Icarus engineers believed that it was the final design, the first and the last, a sort of final frontier. A machine so deadly that it stopped conflict just by its presence alone. A robot so agile and yet so armored. It represented the capabilities of smart engineers in combination of familiar technology. A very potent mix. For years, no Gepard has seen direct combat. Its reputation acts like a magnet, not to attract but to repulse. Enemies would just avoid it instead of fighting it. Its effectiveness was its downfall. After all, what is a hunter without the hunt? What is a war machine without war? Hundreds of Gepards lay in silence inside hangars collecting dust, waiting to see the light of day again, waiting to see the fires of combat, seeking and longing to step in the ashes of the battlefields, among the ruins of abandoned cities and former points of interest. The absence of destroyed Gepards becomes apparent. No Gepards lay barren on the battlefields. To this day, very few of these hunters are seen. From the beginning of Warrobot's history to the creation of the Gepard, no machine has ever disturbed the balance. No machine has ever shattered the tides. A war robot so potent it dominated the early days of warfare. Its blueprints paved the way to more advanced robots, its reputation influencing generations and generations of Icarus war machines. Now it represents a token of technology, a milestone of advancements. It holds the history of Icarus. Its sight is beautiful to its pilots, but death incarnate to enemies unfortunate enough to come across it. In a forest of gears and steel, there it seeks prey. There it builds reputation. The battlefield is its home. Travel back in time to the early days, and there you will see. Though time may alter the world around it, its name remains the same, its fame engraved in the plates of history. This robot was thought of to be the most advanced, but time proved them wrong. In the past it was at the top. In the present it lays dormant. Now we wait for its awakening. Shadowed by its successors, it is lit by the fires it started. The foundation of the Icarus military, a symbol of an apex predator, the German cheetah, the Gepard. The symbol of an apex predator. The symbol of this would result in them it represented the foundation Gepard was very heavy due to layers on due to as the Gepard was very heavy. A brief history. A brief history. Some of the very early players of our robots. There was a tactic that a lot of height, but it was said that a squad of there was no there was no record of a first deployment, but it was said that a squad of Gepard that is but it was said that a squad of destroyers came across a Gepard on a but it was said that a squad of